816-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Drive safe, people. I witnessed a couple of accidents on the way in. You know, you have to be a defensive driver these days anyway. I think I'm going to invent a bumper vehicle. Remember those old school bumper cars? Are they still up at the local carnival? And at the fairgrounds? I don't know, but, you know, we had Elon Musk and his latest invention. Why not just invent vehicles with a huge rubber contraction that just runs straight around the car or truck? Therefore, those who drive with one hand, watching their cell phone, figuring out what Mary's going to wear tonight at the dance, and all that good stuff. It's just no big deal. You just kind of wave, sorry, my bad, and carry on. I don't know, something to consider. But it was brutal out there a little bit earlier today. So if you're driving on your way home, please be safe. Good to have you with us. We are saying goodbye to June. And that is freaking scary. You got to be kidding me. Tomorrow's July 1, July 1st. Where is the time gone? I'm not ready for it. You know, I always said I don't mind getting older. I just hated it when my little girls got older. I feel the same way now. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's been 6 months since the Jaguars played their last football game. To me, it seems like a couple of months ago. Where has the time gone? This has been one of the most incredible off seasons that I can ever remember. There's just been so much going on. And if you were really to, chronicle everything and just go back to Black Monday and the firing of Doug Peterson, and then once again, this organization, just so terrible, so awful to hold on to Trent Baalke for 16 days. And this entire city walked around like you were casting for the Walking Dead. It was. There was no life. There was no heart. There was no pulse. There was no soul. There was just limbs, man. Bones, a little bit of muscle, skin. Just kind of patrolling your way through Duval. And then it finally happened. Trent Baalke's gone. And it was like you came out of a coma, right? And it was a totally new life for you midway through the month of January. And everything that's happened ever since has been nothing short of phenomenal. Brand new brass, brand new organization, a serious jolt of electricity, a serious jolt of just flat-out juice. And all of a sudden, we move into the month where they will pop into the Miller Electric Center. Rookies in 19 days. That is scary. The veterans a couple of days later. And for what we do understand, the first practice is scheduled for July 23rd at the Miller Electric Center. For those of you who struggle so mightily to get through the offseason, it's time to relax because it is here. Now, we got a couple of things to do before that, including the 4th of July, obviously this weekend, and just enjoying the rest of your summer. What's great about being a sports fan is you can enjoy July and August and even into September. You can get your news daily from us here on the Jacksonville Jaguars, but you still have the opportunity to golf or go to the beach or go fishing, whatever it is that you so much enjoy. All the power to you there, but I'm shocked. I can't believe we're waking up tomorrow and it is July. I don't like it. I would like this to extend a little bit. I love the offseason. Always have. Love it more than in season. When it gets here, I'm fully on board, no question. But I hate it. You know, what has this franchise had? 2 winning seasons in the last 14 years or something like that? Or they made the playoffs twice, in the last 14 years? They made it 3 years ago. They made it in 18. Good luck telling me when they made it prior to that. And
07.
07, thank you. I feel for you. I do, because everything's measured with wins and losses. It rained today on a Monday. If you were to go back through time, I would love to know the percentage of Jaguar losses on Sunday followed up by a rainy Monday in Jacksonville. I guarantee, I bet that's over 65, 70, 75%. It just feels like, well, today it rained, whatever. It's like, okay, you know, we need it. Let the lawn grow a little bit. Let it turn greener. I feel so awful for you people when they lose a ball game and you get out of the rack on Monday morning and it's raining and you got to go back to work. Everything you wanted, just the distraction of a football game and a football team and winning. And look what this team did to you last year, man. They dropped the 0-4 on you before you even had an opportunity to get ready for the season. This football team looked at you as a fan base and said, watch this. Fumble! ETN, the entire season, ruined. 4 straight losses. Not going to happen that way this year. There's a fresh breath in Jacksonville, and it's going to be here in 19 days. I'm just wish it was a little bit longer than that. Jalen Ramsey traded today. Jalen Ramsey is he's a very unlikable sort. He really is. He's an egomaniac who's a phenomenal football player. I think he's a future Hall of Famer. But this guy is the prime example of really burning himself out of a city in a 3 to 4 year category. He did it in Tallahassee, where he won a national title. He did it here, obviously. And the end result of that is he's still living rent-free in a lot of you, in a lot of your heads. You despise Jalen Ramsey. I've made the point time and again that if they could have gotten him, I would have made the move. With a new regime, I think he could help this football team. The question now is with Darius Slay, with Joey Porter Jr., what is he going to be? Is he going to be a nickelback? Is he going to make that move to safety? Deion Sanders made a move to safety. Rob Woodson probably made the best move of any Hall of Fame corner to them becoming a Hall of Fame safety. Is it time now for Jalen Ramsey, who picks up another $1.5 million? He's now going to make $26.6 million this year. He's not worth that. He's not that type of player anymore. No argument. He's not worth $26.6 million. Not even close. But what is he all of a sudden going to bring? The Pittsburgh Steelers, and of course, Mika Fitzpatrick headed back to South Florida. But that really ruffled quite a few feathers a little bit earlier today. So we'll spend some time talking about that a little bit later on in the program. All right, here's what we do have scheduled. It's Brian Baldinger in about 12 minutes. I hope that we are able to make that work. Baldy's just so incredibly busy. There's really no other way to say it. I've known Brian Baldinger forever. I used to work with him in Chicago when he was a big part of the Sporting News and Sporting News Radio. He was our NFL analyst, and I've always really admired Brian Baldinger. I think he's one of the really good guys in NFL media. I also think that he is one of those guys who works harder or as hard as anyone else when it comes to really breaking down film, which may sound exciting, but if you do it time and again with all 32 teams, I got to imagine it's taxing. I do. There's a lot of things on film that I'm not a good enough, have a good enough of a football eye to see and understand. Certainly I can follow the ball, right? I think I have a pretty good eye on skill positions. But when you go inside the ditch and you're looking at the offensive line, you look at the defensive line, you're looking at things that both sides of the football are doing as far as their scheme and how things changes, the percentage of the people who really know what's going on is incredibly small. Brian Baldinger, I'd put him right up there as maybe the best there is when it comes to doing that. And he was in town recently. I had an opportunity to talk to Brian for quite some time. He was actually upstairs with Gladstone and Baselli and taking in everything at the Miller Electric Center. And, he had a chance. I believe he was there the day Hunter took off the defensive jersey and put on the offense. He may have been there for that. I'm not sure. I'll ask him. Obviously, he'll remember. And he tours quite a few places and really knows and understands the game. So that is our hope that he's going to be joining us here coming up in just a couple of minutes. Then I have some football things I want to get into a little bit later on in the show. One involves the Jaguars. The other involves the media as a whole, which I think is going to be an interesting conversation. I'm pretty sincere about this. I want to throw it in your direction and listen to the sports fans on what you like and what you do not like with, kind of the recent history of where the media now is today compared to where it once was. I mean, it's brilliant for these members of the media to make it all about themselves. They really benefit from that financially. But how much work do they put in? I just gave you a great example of Brian Baldinger. When you got Stephen A. Smith making $20 million a year and they show him during Game 4 of the NBA Finals playing solitaire on his phone, and then all of a sudden, his word is gospel. His word is so incredibly important. I'm glad I'm wiser. I'm glad I'm smarter. There was a time in my life where at Jaguars practice, I used to find myself getting aggravated with other members of the media who looked at it as like a social hour. They never really observed. They never really knew what was going on. They never really watched practice. They checked the box that said, I'm here. But did they have conversations? Did they talk about what's going on? Did they see it for themselves? Or was just, it's kind of like going to your daughter's dance recital or something. Just being there is good enough, right? You showed up. You made it. Congratulations. You're there. But are you really seeing anything? Are you really learning? That used to bother me. I mean, I'm going back 20 years or so. It doesn't bother me anymore. I got more important things to worry about. But those are the people who don't really pay attention, who make the boldest claims and take on the biggest stance. Yet it's like, why? So anyway, we're going to talk about that a little bit later on the show. I think it'll be pretty interesting, and hopefully you'll join us on that conversation. All right, tonight's show is brought to you by the good folks over at Miller Electric Center. Oh, yeah, get ready. In 19 days, it's going to happen again. The Jaguars will report. Of course, Miller Electric, they're all over the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is where that facility is. It's state-of-the-art. It's really the best facility in all of professional and collegiate athletics. And they're a company that has been around now for 96 years. It's consistently voted as one of the top companies right here in Jacksonville. They are hiring. If you want to work for one of the best companies, and no matter where you are in the city, you see what? More construction, more growth. So many people want to move and live here in Duval. Electrical work is never going away. Miller Electric Company, one of the best companies around. They are hiring. They believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually do care about one another. For all the details, just go to millercareers.com. That's millercareers.com. Great to have you with us. It is a Monday edition. Dylan Denmark is here. My name is Rick Ballou. We're busy on this Monday, and it includes, from the NFL Network, Brian Baldinger.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
I don't want to hear your excuses.
Best friends.
What an idiot.
They love each other. Like brothers.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Dan and Jeff. Mornings on 1010XL.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to i9sports.com with summer and fall registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. i9sports.com. Enter 1010 for a discount.
With the first pick in the 2025 draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Duck Duck Rooter, the #1 plumbing, septic, and air conditioning contractor in Florida.
Congratulations, Duck Duck Rooter. So tell us, how does it feel to be picked #1?
Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When you need help with any plumbing, septic, or AC issue, just give us a call and relax. We'll send one of our first-round draft picks to tackle your problems today. DuckDuckRooter.com. That's DuckDuckRooter.com.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a fight for the last slice of pizza? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. You've heard us talk about it. Window World, the #1 window replacement company in the USA, selling over 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years.
That's a lot of satisfied customers and why J.D. Powers has awarded Window World Best in Customer Satisfaction 3 out of 4 years.
Window World stands behind their slogan, simply the best for less. With Window World, you get top quality windows at a price that leaves more of your money in your bank account, and you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement industry. When compared to our competition, there is none. See for yourself. Call the competition. Get quotes from them. But before you buy, get Window World's free estimate and compare the quality of the windows and the price.
You'll see.
And when your new Window World windows are installed and they're saving you money on your energy bills, if anything goes wrong with those windows, Window World and I will be there to make it right. That's my guarantee.
Call Window World today. Start saving money on your new windows and your energy bills and take vacation with your savings. Window World online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors and siding.
Weekends were made for sports, and I'll tell you my take on this weekend's most interesting option. 1010XL's Media Mogul Hicken here. Watch for Musing with the Media Mogul on YouTube and Facebook. Made possible by Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Hacker here, and I want to tell you one of my favorite things about Awaken 180 weight loss, and that's the personalized coaching that you get with Awaken 180. Now, a lot of weight loss programs, they'll give you some plan off their website, and they'll say, all right, have fun, see you later. Not Awaken 180 weight loss. Prime example of that, my coach Kate. I've had phone calls with my coach Kate over a year now, every single week. She's been advising me, she's been guiding me, she's been motivating me, and as a result of that, I'm down well over 100 pounds. I'm on the maintenance program now. The coaching you get with Awaken 180 helps you reach your goal. It is absolutely sensational, and it separates Awaken 180 weight loss. Do what I did. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. Take it from me. If I can do it, you can do it. Get involved with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
No offseason for Brian Baldinger. He is a busy, busy man. In town here a few weeks ago. Snuck in a little bit of time to play some charity golf, but recently was in Vegas for the SAC Summit. Always a pleasure to talk with Baldy. He joins Rick Ballou. Brian, how you been?
Hey, Rick. I'm doing well, buddy. Good to see you a couple weeks ago, and good to talk to you here tonight.
Yeah. You've been mixing in some golf. Good for you. But perhaps more importantly, you took in the SAC Summit recently in Las Vegas. How did that go?
I love it. I saw Trayvon Walker there. I think Trayvon's going to have a monster season. But it's just really a great place to come together with a lot of different players from around the league. Von Miller started this 9 years ago. Really a chance to talk about defense, pass rush, mindset, recovery, how to defeat some of the protections that are out there, some of the players that are out there. Guys have different body types. Not every pass rush move works for everybody, so we kind of expose everybody to a variety, probably like as many as 8 different type of moves. And guys get to try them all out. They're being coached by guys like Robert Mathis, Sean Merriman, some veteran guys that have been around the league a long time. And it's really quite beneficial, to be honest with you, Rick.
How unique is this? I know there's been quarterback camps and there's a tight end camp, but these guys are so competitive, and I would imagine in a drill like this or a situation like this, they're giving away tips and secrets. How unique is it?
Well, it's unique, Rick. The offensive line masterminds is down in Frisco, Texas next week. I'll see Lane Johnson down there, Duke Manyweather, a bunch of guys, probably about 400 people. But, when Von started this, he took a lot of heat for doing exactly what you just said, for sharing tips and insights and things like that. And Vaughn didn't care. Vaughn was interested in improving individual pass rush. And the cool thing right now, honestly, Rick, is we're seeing guys that we've worked with for years now get paid and get that second contract. Milton Williams was there from the Eagles, who just went to the Patriots and got a second contract. And we're happy to see guys kind of grow, expand their abilities, get better. Last year, Josh Hines Allen was there. Last year, I think he wanted to come. This year, he had another scheduling conflict. But I think it's a good place because, honestly, not everybody gets to go to a team that has veteran players in the defensive line room or the offensive line room where you can learn from veterans. Not everybody's fortunate to have those type of players. And so I think it's really, and you can only coach so much. So I think that it's valuable to be able to, to see Nolan Smith from the Eagles, talking to Chris Long, about edge pass rush and, what's the best way to go about defeating the various protections and players and things like that.
Brian Baldinger, our guest. Of course, he is with the NFL Network, and Brian is now back from the SAC Summit in Las Vegas. As you said, Josh Hines Allen not there this year. You saw him a couple of weeks ago here in Duval. You also mentioned Trayvon Walker. Trayvon told us he only lost 3 pounds. Looks like he's done a lot of nice things with his body. Noticeable weight loss for Josh Hines Allen. That really has become a big story around here, Brian, about how heavy they played a year ago. And with this new regime, the feeling is let's take off a little bit of weight.
Well, you do play in extreme heat. I don't think it's going to hurt either one of those powers. Trayvon is a very powerful player to begin with. I don't think it's going to affect his power. So if it improves his overall conditioning and his movement and quickness, yet doesn't take away from the power, that can't be a bad thing for any pass rusher. Mm-hmm. They feed each other. They need a better inside, push. They need Mason Smith to really step up this year. Devon Hamilton, some of the guys that are there. I think that's where they really need to improve. I think both Josh and Trayvon have a chance to have, double-digit pass seasons coming up this year.
You got to spend a great deal of time, Brian, with the 34-year-old general manager, James Gladstone, also Tony Baselli, who, of course, takes over as the executive vice president of football operations. What was that experience like, and what was your overall thought of watching him practice?
Well, I've known Tony for a long time, but, he's in a different role now. So I always was able to talk to Tony about, football in general, the Jags, offensive line play. But obviously, his reach is much greater now, and he's kind of on the job learning. I did not know James Gladstone. I knew of him, but I did not know him. But, he comes across as being very bright, very good insight to the game. To see those guys talk about team building and coaching and, over the overall state of football in Jacksonville and around the league, I gleaned a lot over, 3 hours spending upstairs with those guys. And they get the chance to talk to, to both of them, along with Liam Cohen, the new head coach. It was valuable for me, and I think I think this is a good trajectory as Jacksonville hits the reset button here, Rick. I think it's a good trajectory of where they're at and where they're going.
Mm-hmm. The thing that stuck out to me more than any, Brian, is this is the fastest Jaguars team, I believe, ever. When you add Diami Brown and you draft Travis Hunter to go with Brian Thomas Jr., I know you travel around and see each and every team, but was that offensive speed noticeable to you?
Yeah, except that Brian, went down that practice. I think he's okay, but he didn't get through the whole practice. He got collision pretty good, but
yeah,
there is good speed outside. Diami made a big difference in Washington last year, Rick. I don't know how much you had a chance to watch him and study him, but he really came on with McLaurin. The quarterback obviously helped him. And the level of play that he has, and they do. They've got good speed on the outside. That receiving room has undergone as much change as any receiving room in this entire league over the last 2 years of where they were and where they're at right now. So it's still a question of building that chemistry and trust with Trevor. But the speed, should get guys backpedaling pretty quickly, especially with the way I believe they're using Travis a lot in the slot. And Diami's speed has always been noticeable, but he really came on and filled that number 2 role next to Terry McLaurin. And, this Brian Thomas Jr., he had a great season last year. He averaged 15 yards a catch. He had 10 touchdowns. I think he could see much bigger numbers this year.
Final couple of minutes with Brian Baldinger. He, of course, is with the NFL Network. All right, realistically, as a rookie, and I'm sure you got a real good opportunity to look at Travis Hunter. I have a little bit of question of his lower body. I don't know if those legs are going to be able to hold up. How much do you think he can play defense if he's primarily going to be on the offensive side?
I think it's going to be I think he can line up in certain situations and just play man coverage. That's what he's best at right now. But I think just being around him at the pro day at Colorado this year when we went out to see Shedeur throw, I was around him. He was a receiver that day. Got a chance to meet him and talk to him. He's exceedingly bright. He graduated, just got married. He's a mature kid. But he wants to play both ways. He's got the conditioning level of, the most elite of all athletes. I just never see, I never see him get tired. So that's part of it. But I think mentally, he can handle a lot. I don't see why they can't put him out there on the field, 3 wide receiver sets in certain situations right now and get, 10, 20 plays from him on defense in addition to what he does on offense to start right now.
Last question for you, Brian. 6 new offensive linemen, 3 new tight ends, 2 new running backs, 2 new wide receivers. Gladstone and company, they've done everything they can to change the offense. It comes down to Trevor Lawrence in year 5. How much can he improve this year if he stays healthy?
Well, I think he needs to make a jump. He needs to be able to put he has not won a lot of games as starter, as you know, Rick, over the last 2 years. Injuries, instability, things around him are all true. But he was paid to be a franchise quarterback last year. He has to step up. His overall completion percentage has got to improve. his playmaking ability has got to improve. And so I think that Liam will do a good job of, building a solid run game, something that they haven't had in a while, that will help them. But ultimately, he's got to be able to, attack these defenses and make plays the way the winner of this division has the last 2 years in C.J. Stroud. He's got to start playing at that level this year on a consistent basis. And if he can, then I think Jacksonville can climb out of the depths of where they're at right now and get back into this race.
Make sure you get Brian Baldinger on Twitter and or X. It's at Baldy NFL. Of course, you get the Baldy breakdowns, and as well, you see him on the NFL Network. Brian Baldinger, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, Rick. Thanks for having me. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
There he goes. Thank you. Brian Baldinger with us here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Always a breath of fresh air with Brian. But Brian's one of those guys that, you know what I mean? You feel better after the conversation. Even if he says some things that are not necessarily negative, but it's time to produce, time to show up, time to step up. Talking about Trevor Lawrence, I just think in his delivery, he does it in a positive way. It's why he's one of the very best in the business, and it was good to see him here recently in Duval over at the Miller Electric Center. All right. Boy, he was at the Pro Day, too, in Colorado. This man's he's always out there. He's always doing something. And, again, he was just in Las Vegas for the SAC Summit. I asked him the question. I have a difficult time digesting that. I've always wondered about coaching, and if you give away your coaching secrets to a guy who's not good enough to make your team, then he goes someplace else. Or, if you give away your coaching secrets, try to do everything you can to make the player better, then all of a sudden he leaves, because of free agency. It's the same thing here with the SAC Summit. What if you're a great pass rush defensive end and you feel you have a move that no one else in football has, or you have a secret that no one else in the NFL has, and you're expected to give all that up at this summit with a, very competitive guys trying to do the exact same thing. It's a little mystifying to me, but they've done it now for 9 years, headed up by Von Miller. You hear Baldinger say that Josh Hines-Allen not able to make it this year. He was there a year ago, but he came away very impressed with Trayvon Walker. So that is certainly good to hear. All right, tonight's show brought to you by Shmunez Vision. And, golf on Saturday, the beach on Sunday, just in sights all over the place. Man, the Pelicans I saw this weekend coming from afar. Absolutely my favorite animal is a pelican. Give me a pelican any day. And they were all over the place out at Amelia Island and just having a blast at the beach. It's a good thing I have 2020. I'm hoping that you do as well. And we continuously put off getting our eyes checked. Don't know why that is, but it's something that you do. It's something that, I used to do years ago, no longer. Not after having surgery 9 years ago, performed by Dr. Neil Shmunez. I go regularly, and I'm glad that I do. If you need an eye examination, go to Shmunez Vision. If you're concerned about what's going on with your eyes, make an appointment today. Tomorrow, get it done. Sit with the very best. Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt. You're talking about more than 30 years worth of experience when it comes to surgery. And again, there's so much more that they can provide for you, including a few weeks ago at my last visit, telling me that I actually had a allergy. I didn't think I did. And they gave me a remedy, and it certainly has gone away. So if you're dealing with pollen or anything that is allergy wise or whatever it may be, just another reason to make an appointment at Shmunez Vision. Go to Instagram as well. Get all the testimonials from Shmunez Vision, all the good folks who've been visiting them for quite some time. All right, what did you make from Baldy? What did you make from Brian Baldinger? Let's get some of your thoughts on that. Best way for you to join us, 641-1010 text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, you can get us on YouTube. Just go to 1010XL into the night.
Let's make it hot.
No, wait. Feel the heat. Keep cool with 1010XL, your summer station.
And welcome back to another episode of Potty Talk with our current champion. So what's your secret to your perfect plumbing proficiency?
It's simple, really. Roland Reach Plumbing is always the right answer.
Roland Reach Plumbing, 260-7059.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, responding to Jim's long emails, leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC starting at $699.99 at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
Are you living with diabetic neuropathy? That pain and numbness in your hands or feet? What about chronic knee or shoulder pain? Maybe you've tried various treatments, but they've been ineffective. Now there's a solution. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso specializes in advanced pain management and offers breakthrough neuromodulation treatments for those conditions. His innovative treatments target the source of your pain, offering relief where medications may fall short. All procedures are performed outpatient with no hospitalization required. Just a chance for you to feel and live better. If you want to learn more, Dr. Formoso is hosting free informational classes where he'll explain the benefits of neuromodulation therapies and how they can help eliminate your pain. Spaces are limited, so call to reserve your spot now with offices on the South Side, West Side, and Jacksonville Beach. Relief is possible with Formoso Spine and Joint Pain Specialists.
Registration is now open for the Circle K Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament. With over $450,000 in cash and prizes, fun starts on July 13th with the inaugural Kickoff Beach Tournament that has a $50,000 cash first place prize. There's also a junior offshore tournament and one for the lady anglers. Best of all, the winner of the General Offshore Tournament takes home a Contender 28T with twin Yamaha 200s. Register today at kingfishtournament.com.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, wants to make your flight in and out of Jax a fun one. Stop by Vino Volo in the airport and enjoy 2 signature Brackish cocktails. Vino Volo has amazing food and cocktails before your flight. Brackish Vodka is the first clean craft vodka and made right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Brackish Vodka for whatever your sport is. If your sport is flying, your vodka is Brackish, proud partner of the Jaguars.
This day in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This date in 1908, Cy Young becomes the oldest player recording his 3rd career no-hitter at age 41 and 3 months as the Boston Red Sox defeat the New York Highlanders 8-0.
It's Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacks Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacks Beach or visit apexroofingfl.com.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Your hometown hero since '94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs, homegrown and now with fries.
Maxed out on credit card, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hi, thank you to Baldy, Brian Baldinger. Good stuff, as always. There's not enough out there for me to read. Everything that's in print, I go through. And, right now is the time to be the aggressive gambler, right? Don't wait for the 19 days. Don't wait for the 22 days. If you like something, right now is the time to do it. Here's the problem. We just don't know. We don't. The storylines are endless. And frankly, the storylines are scary. They are. It's not, tweak here, just adjust this there. No, we're talking about dramatic household changes. Trevor Lawrence, got to get there. He has to. Has to get there. I was reading today that, you see this in CBS, Dylan? Dylan, Denmark, they listed Trevor Lawrence as the top true freshman in the history of college football. He was number one.
I could see that. They were the first team ever that went 15-0 and won the national title.
Would you tell me last week he was 19th out of starting quarterbacks in Madden?
I think it was like 24. Yeah.
How does that work? Tell me about Madden. I don't play video games at all.
It's I don't even know how they do it exactly, but your quarterback, you're judged on your accuracy and throwing power. And I forget what his overall was. I think it was like 78. Yeah, it was below average, which I don't really take too much into, but when you speak of Trevor Lawrence, if you even, we all have our, critiques of him. Talent's not one of them. I mean, the dude can make any throw anywhere. It's just, with most quarterbacks, it's between the ears and decision making.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with that, you would think that Trevor would be a little higher just because of the talent. I mean, he can make any throw anywhere. And, his throwing power is not, a weakness of his.
Does Trevor Lawrence love football? I think that's a fair question. That's how this new organization is bringing in players. They want folks who love football. You look at Travis Hunter, he loves football. I've never seen any indication at all that Trevor Lawrence is a guy that's just out there earning a paycheck. I feel he wants to win. I think it's very important to him. Does he love football? I don't know the answer to that question. I was looking at some power rank. I'm not a power rankings guy, but they were put in front of my face this morning. I was reading Yahoo with Frank Schwab, and he had Jacksonville in at 22. That's a fair estimate to begin the year. But what I really liked about it is he had Tennessee at 32, and he had Indianapolis at 24. Okay, two of the worst teams in the NFL. And what I always describe as a dysfunctional division, such a winnable division, is the AFC South. If you can fix, I don't know, 3 of the top 5 storylines, you should be a divisional winner. So what are the top 5 storylines? Well, I'll tell you right now. Number 1, without any question, is Trevor Lawrence. And we can fill in everything else around it. But it's still about number 16. It's still about whether or not he can be taken to the next level. What you should want as a Jaguars fan this year is for Trevor Lawrence to consistently be considered a top 10 quarterback. And in a year, can he be a top 7, close to a top 5 quarterback? He was drafted that way. He was expected to be that way. He's had to overcome all of these hiccups, all of these misgivings. 3 coaches in 5 years. Yet another different offensive scheme. That's storyline number 1. To me, storyline number 2 is the offensive line. Stop being slow and friendly. Man up. Show a little bit of pride. Show a little bit of professionalism on 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2 and 4th and 1. Pick up the freaking first down and do it like men. You haven't been able to do that in a decade. And you brought in 6 new bodies. You can Travis Hunter me all night. You can Brian Thomas Jr. me all night. If you can't get it done in the ditch in short yardage situations, the Jaguars are not going to take the next step. And that is also going to absolutely crush Trevor Lawrence. You have to be able to run the football. That's storyline number 2. Storyline number 3, can they run it? Do they have too many backs in camp? If I was to survey you, man, I have a feeling to be 33% for 3 backs. If we did a survey right now between, the emergence of Tootin, whether it's in the final year of his contract, it ends up being a good year for ETN, or you're going to tell me it's going to be Tank Bigsby. You got 3 backs. Every one of them, there is a question mark, right? You have to be able to run the football. That's number 3 for me. Number 4, your interior defensive line. Non-existent a year ago. I mean, just brutal a year ago. You're okay off the edge. You had no depth. But you got 2 really good football players on the edge. What do you got working inside? You just heard Baldinger mention Devon Hamilton. You just heard Baldinger mention Mason Smith, who, for the record, could be enormous. Again, storylines on Mason Smith in itself, we could do a whole show on it. What's he going to do this year? He's got first-round talent. Is he going to explode on the scene? He's already said some positive things as far as, what he has seen with this new defense, with the understanding that they're not in pads and they haven't been hitting. Eric Armstead out of position a year ago. I believe he's a professional. My money says he responds this year and plays good football, but that's it. I mean, again, you can have Rod Woodson, Charles Woodson. You can have Dion. You can have Ronnie Lott. You can have Dick Night Train Lane. You can have Cliff Harris, Mel Blount. You can put them all out there at once. And if you're not getting a push, you're going to get picked apart in this league. You're going to get shredded in this league. So to me, that's storyline number 4. And then number 5, I think, is one that's going to surprise people a little bit. But it's time for the defense to get the damn football. Again, I mentioned these things, and you think of a year ago, and it's almost to the point where you want to puke because it's just so disgusting. It's just so awful. How did you only have 8 defensive takeaways in 17 games? How did that happen? 8. Not one guy in your roster had more than 1 interception. I like what I've seen so far during camp, doing some drills with the understanding that there's no contact. Still, they're working on taking the football away. I went off on this last week at one point. I'll do it again to make my point. But wouldn't it be nice to have the Jaguars get the ball at midfield? Wouldn't it be nice for the Jaguars to get an interception and dare I say, they start it on a 1st and 10 on your opponent's side of the football field? Imagine having a short field to work with. That almost never happened a year ago. Jaguars had one of the worst offensive starting field positions in pro football. They were just up against it all the time. And obviously they had terrible play calling. So there's no shortage of storylines for this football team. But they have some players. That's what's encouraging. This is a better roster than it once was. It's a better roster than a 4-win team. Okay, this team should just be able to show up and win 8 or 9 games. They have 2 great rush ends. They have 2 really good linebackers. Devin Lloyd is a really good linebacker against the run. He is. He should not be out there in pass situations. And I think Ventrell Miller is a quality football player as well. I think you got a really good corner when he's healthy in Tyson Campbell. I don't know what to make of the rest of the secondary. I don't. Offensive line, can't help you. If you're looking for me to say something positive about that offensive line, can't help you. Just can't do it. Okay? Can't do it. Got to see it. 3 great wide receivers, blazing wide receivers, a tight end who has a chance to be really, really good. The running back situation under the microscope, we'll see. And then it's all on the QB. But it's better than it was. You've got something here. You've got some players here. You really do. And to me, that is encouraging. Dave Parker died at the age of 74 over the weekend. Really bummed me out. I loved baseball growing up. I loved baseball, particularly in the 70s and the 80s. And Dave Parker was a star. I mean, this man was a stud. 6'5", who knows what he was. Who I think he was listed around 240, whatever he was, but he was just a monster. And he had one of the biggest bats. Him and Willie Stargell both, had those huge bats. Let's see here. 339 career home runs, 2,712 hits, 1,493 career ribbies, scored 1,272 runs. The stats here are terrible. I can't even get OPS and that type of stuff. But, for what it's worth, there's so much more than just the numbers when it came to Dave Parker. And he's gone at 74. He left Pittsburgh, went to Cincinnati. Then it was well-traveled. Went Oakland, Milwaukee, California, Toronto again. Or Toronto for the first time. Let me see here, just for the record. Ended up hitting 290. Had an on-base percentage of 339. Okay. He didn't walk a ton. Only walked 683 times in his career and nearly 10,000 at-bats. Wow. So he was a free swinger, Dave Parker. Slugging percentage, 471, very good. OPS of 810. And unfortunately, he dies a month before he was going to be, he has been elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame, but the day that he was going to actually go in, scheduled for next month in July, he unfortunately won't be around for that, as he did pass over the weekend. But for those who grew up in that era, and it was a different era, where guys primarily stayed with their team until they were traded or something crazy. That was the great thing about baseball in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. For the most part, you stayed with your team. Even though Curt Flood came in with free agency, still, if you were a great ball player, for the most part, you stayed with your team. And, I'll think of Dave Parker for 12, 13 years plus during his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates. All right, let's get ready for our second hour. Let's do that. If you want to jump in, 641-1010. Let's look on the text line here at 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Again, anything you heard Baldy talk on, you want to get in on that, you can. Also, you can join us on YouTube. Go to 1010XL Into the Night.
He knows the NFL.
Okay.
He knows the Jaguars.
Fellas, it's pretty simple.
He's here to tell you everything he knows about the NFL and the Jaguars.
You do a button hook, the rest of you guys block for me, I'll take care of the rest.
Mike Dempsey.
Okay, on go.
10 to noon on 1010XL.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnickBuickGMC.com today to learn more, or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org.
This 4th of July, Navy Mutual would like to salute Joe DiMaggio as our hero in sports. Nicknamed the Yankee Clipper, you know Joe for his record 56-game hitting streak that may never be touched. But he was also a sergeant during World War II.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Cannonball! Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
At Tucker Equipment Rental in Neptune Beach, you just don't rent quality machines, you rent quality customer service. Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Dave. Tucker Equipment Rental has been supplying Jacksonville with equipment and event rental for over 50 years.
From commercial and homeowner projects, we've got what you need: lifts, dirt equipment, and landscape equipment.
And don't forget about event rentals, from festivals to weddings to backyard barbecues.
Local, knowledgeable, and always ready to help.
Tucker Equipment Rentals.
You need it, we've got it, come see us. Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pools. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080.
Hi, folks. Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. Hey, Jacksonville Hicken here. I've been around the block or two, and Checkmate Coatings is who I'd call for my own place. They're my new MVP for stunning, long-lasting floors.
Brendan here with Checkmate Coatings. No massive overhead means top prices on top-quality pool decks, driveways, garages, and patios, too.
Visit CheckmateCoatings.com today. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Yo, 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 it's your boy E to the T here, and I know that getting into an accident is stressful, but getting the proper care doesn't have to be. That's why I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. Even if you're at fault, your insurance covers you. And remember, you have the right to choose your own doctor. Even a minor accident can cause whiplash for years if it goes untreated. So don't wait. Call the auto accident experts at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Your recovery starts today.
Don't
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the night with Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Florida's favorite rat. Brad Marchand is rich. He re-upped 6 years, $32 million with the two-time defending Stanley Cup champion, Florida Panthers.
Is that crazy for someone that's that age?
It's going to be 42 to 43 at the end of this. I love the fact that he thinks he can play 6 more years because, again, I'm a numbers guy. I think he has 422 career goals. I'd like to see him get 500. I believe he's got 66 career playoff goals, which is just, phenomenal. But 6 years, yeah. That, if you would have asked me, I would have said Brad Marchand, 2 to 3 years remaining. That would have been my, at this level. He's still playing at a top level. What he did in the Stanley Cup final, some of his moves were just simply spectacular. Aaron Ekblad is well signed today. So, the Panthers are doing everything they can to try to keep all of this in order. And I can't even believe to think about winning 3 in a row. But remember, there was a stretch where Edmonton did this and the New York Islanders did this, where they just kept on winning. Let me see, 424 career goals for Marchand and 980 career points. But if you look at his playoffs, which I think should be a major consideration to anyone going to the Hall of Fame. We just talked about the late Dave Parker. I think part of that vote would have been what he did in the 1979 World Series when Pittsburgh knocked off Baltimore. I mean, Dave Parker was an enormous part of that. 66 career goals in the playoffs for Marchand to go along with 92 assists. The guy's got 158 points in the playoffs in 180 games. So he re-ups today. No doubt about it. Huge move there for the Florida Panthers. I've thrown this out a little bit lately. I threw it out on Friday with Josh Evans, who joined us, about this Trevor Love football. Now, this is self-created, right? I mean, I've been doing this for 34 years. Until James Gladstone got into town, I never found myself ever having a conversation before about whether or not someone loves football. Never thought of it that way, okay? That is a huge part of the new regime. The draft picks, the free agents, these are guys who love football. Of course I believe that Trevor Lawrence loves football. He's been very good at it. He's made enough money to live 10 lives off of it, but some people will question that. I remember years and years ago, I think it was in 2021, where he came out and he said he loved football, but he didn't put like the complete stamp on it. Let me see if I can find that.
It was Sports Illustrated right after he got drafted. He said something along the lines of, basically, he talking about his faith and with Jesus. He's like, football is alive, but it's not everything to me. And then he had to correct himself after because people took it the wrong way.
Yeah, here's the article. It said, some of my tweets have led some to question my motivation, and they were misread. His quote was, "I am internally motivated. I love football as much or more than anything. It's a huge priority in my life. Obviously, I'm driven to be the best I can be and to maximize my potential and to win." He put W-I-N in capitals. He went on to say during his second tweet, "I don't need football to make me feel worthy as a person. Truly loves everything about the game, yada, yada, yada." Yeah, see, meat and potatoes football fans, They don't want to hear about that. They don't want to hear about your faith. They don't want to hear about your family. They want you to be 110% every second of the day motivated to becoming a better football player. So things can be taken out of context. I remember when this happened, I absolutely gave him a pass on it. And I've never been one of those who questions whether or not, he really wants to win. I've questioned his leadership. When I went to Charlotte every year, I used to have my entire conversations with Dabo Sweeney about the fire in the belly of Trevor Lawrence. And he told me not to worry about it. Now, has he become more of a leader in 4 years from when he got here? Sure. Is he a great quarterback leader? Right now, I would say the answer to that question would be no. They haven't won nearly enough games. Does that mean that he can't become one? Heck no. Absolutely he can. Surely he can. 5602, Ballou. Trevor may love football, but he lacks that drive to be the best at his position, to be the best on the field because he's always been the best. And until his last season of college, he didn't even experience a loss. So I just don't think he has that Michael Jordan, Russell Westbrook, or even C.J. Stroud type of drive. Stroud's only been around 2 years. Tough for me to comment there. Russell Westbrook, yeah, I'm an NBA guy, but he's kind of gone around a little bit. Michael Jordan's drive was second to none. Right there with Tiger Woods. Right? I mean, Michael Jordan's drive was absolutely insane. I don't know if you can compare anyone to that drive. But, I think it's a fair question only because it's been brought to our attention. Right? If it wasn't said around here it's right there with the ecosystem. It's right there with, intangibly rich. It's the love of the game of football. We want guys who love football. Sure. Everyone's going to say, yeah, he loves football, he loves football, he loves football. Okay. Then it's at the end of the conversation. Or are you a little suspect? Are you a little, does he really? I mean, does he have to at this point? With all the money that does he have to? No. Hell no. I mean, what is he going to make? $313 million when it's all said and done? Guaranteed. So he doesn't have to be. I mean, you want him to be, but he doesn't have to be. Very interesting stuff. It is when it comes to Trevor Lawrence. We'll see. All right. I keep reading during the offseason about camp competition, about storylines, about if you were to add a piece. ESPN did one last week where they mentioned Jadeveon Clowney, coming over as a street free agent that you could use to beef up a little bit more of a pass rush in Jacksonville. And then it goes on and on and on. Pro Football Focus right now is coming out with their rankings. Last week, they ranked the defensive line 29th in the NFL. This is the entire defensive line. Okay, this is with Hines, Allen, and Walker. 29th. Again, it's nauseating. It's frightening. I think they're better than that, and I think, most of that must come from better play with the interior defensive line. But I wanted to throw this out to you because, we're seeing this again, and we're seeing the secondary, and can we just stop it and just admit as one that the biggest question, the weakest part of this football team is the offensive line. And if anyone was to argue that point, they would be wrong, okay? There's been no proof that this offensive line is going to be any better than the rubbish that we have seen recently. Sure, you want to believe it. And they deserve a lot of credit for bringing in 6 new bodies. The effort is there. I don't know if the players were there. And we're not going to be able to find that out until September. You're not going to get any indication. I mean, I saw today Jalen Ramsey gets traded, so Jalen Ramsey comes here with Pittsburgh for preseason game number 1. It's the return trip for Jalen Ramsey to Duval. Chances are he won't even play. We still don't have a perfect script for how the 3 preseason games work. I mean, Jacksonville goes undefeated in the preseason, like every year. Jacksonville's won like 79 straight preseason games. And I want to say last year they didn't face a starting quarterback on the other side. But, listen, I get it. This is the time of year where you're reaching a little bit for content. I do the same thing here on the show. You're trying to find something now here at the end of June, beginning of July, that engages the fan base. Not the same old, but a little something different that'll fire up this fan base until, things get underway. Then everything is right there for you. All you got to do is go, pay attention, follow it, have conversations, do interviews, whatever, and you can have packed show day after day after day after day. But right now you kind of look for other things that you think may appeal to Jaguar fans. I'm shocked at all of this when I see the secondary or I see the defensive line. No, it's the offensive line. Absolutely, it's the offensive line. I mean, do you feel comfortable about any one of these offensive linemen where you can say, and let's put out a realistic goal. Let's put out a realistic number. Can any one of these offensive linemen be top 15 at their position out of 32 teams? Top 15. Can Walker Little be a top 15 left tackle? Or if not, is it Fred Johnson? Can he be a top 15 left tackle this year for the Jags? Can Ezra Cleveland be a top 15 left guard this year for the Jaguars? Can Robert Hainsey be a top 15 center? Can Patrick McCarry be a top 15 right guard? Or when you get to McCarry and you get to Cleveland, let's bring up rookie Wyatt Milam. Can he be a top 15 guard this year? Can Anton Harrison, who regressed last year, can he be a top 15 right tackle? I'm not trying to be a smartass. Being as honest as I've always been. I'm not asking you for a top 5 offensive line. I'm not asking you for a top 10. We talk all the time about Trevor getting into the top 10. Trevor getting into the top 7, becoming elite, becoming the very best that he can be. The generational. We're not talking about that with the offensive line. What we're talking about with the offensive line is, can you be average? Can you be 15? Dylan, any one of those guys I mentioned right now, would you lay down cash that any one of those players on this offensive line can be top 15 at their position?
No, the only one, and I don't even feel confident saying this, would be Anton Harrison if he can put it all together somehow. I was looking at, you were talking about the left tackles with Walker Little from a couple weeks ago, I guess a month ago now. Late May, PFF put out top offensive tackles, top left tackles ahead of the 2025 season. Walker Little was 32. So 15 is an uphill battle. I mean, Liam Cohen said Liam Cohen was the only person, that really called someone out at camp with Anton Harrison saying he can go when he wants to.
Yeah, he did. I love that comment about him.
So,
yeah.
He has that potential to be really good. It's just, does he want to show up every day and work? That's kind of how I took the quote.
If I was to vote on this, I would say Anton Harrison first, and maybe in a year, Milam 2. Honestly, that'd be my voting. I just don't see it with the other guys. Doesn't mean it's true. Doesn't mean I can't be wrong here. But that is, that is a big time concern right now with this football team. And Again, everyone's got a job to do. Everyone's going to write and do things to try to create clicks and get some things happening. But, and I read them all, and I digest them all, and I reference them if I go to it. But to me, it's like a non-issue. It's like, let's be honest about this. Let's get straight to the ditch. Let's go straight to that offensive line. And, listen, they could have a top 15 back at the end of the year. They got 3 really good wide receivers. I mean, you're talking about a duo that could complement, Philly and Cincinnati and some of the great Minnesota, some of the great wide receiver combos in the NFL. You got a tight end that I really do believe in this system could be a top 10 tight end. 2 pass rush ends. A linebacker, a corner. But you get to that offensive line, and it's like, come on now. Something's got to happen. And it's not as though they haven't tried, right? And look at the money they've spent on guards that didn't work out. Look at draft picks that they used with tackles who are no longer here, including Taylor, including Robinson. It hasn't worked. But to me, is without any question at all, still the biggest weakness, if you look at position groups, for this team. All right, your response to that, 641-1010 on the text line. We'll grab that on the other side. Also, those of you watching us tonight on YouTube, good to have you with us. If you want to join that, you can go to 1010XL into the night.
Getting down in Duval. Duval, baby. For everything you need to know about your home team, turn to 1010XL. Bingo. This is Jacksonville Sports Radio.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast orthopedic specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast orthopedic specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast orthopedic specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast orthopedic specialists.
Frank Franzi here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville's full of memorable sports moments. Remember Tiger Woods' 60-foot putt on the iconic 17th? Gary Coate called it better than most. Better than most. Well, Coil Fencing is better than most. They're better than all. Coil has been that for nearly 100 years. So if you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today. That's at 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
Living on Amelia Island? Having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
Attention business owners and property managers. Hurricane season is right around the corner. Is your property ready? Call the pros at Duck Duck Rooter for expert storm drain cleaning and hydrojetting. Our powerful VACCON truck clears the way so your drains flow freely when the rain hits. Call 904-862-6769 today to schedule your service and protect your property before the storms start rolling in. Duck Duck Rooter, your trusted name in storm drain maintenance. Visit us at duckduckrooter.com. We are a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This date in 1908, Cy Young becomes the oldest player recording his third career no-hitter at age 41 and 3 months, as the Boston Red Sox defeat the New York Highlanders 8-0.
The 2025 season schedule has dropped, and single-game tickets are on sale now. Be at the bank to watch Travis Hunter, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jaguars take on the biggest names in the NFL. Don't miss your favorite matchup and secure your tickets now by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. See you this fall, Jags fans.
Yes, sir. That's the best decision.
I love it. Are your kids ready to play this summer?
Come check out the Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At the Y summer camps, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and the 4th of July weekend is upon us. And I know what you're thinking. I can't start Awaken 180 weight loss because I want to eat on that long weekend. Well, guess what? You can eat hamburgers on Awaken 180 weight loss. You can eat chicken, steak, or pork, too. You can even eat lobster because you're eating real food and losing weight. More important, it's fast, easy, and safe. No chemicals in your body, no counting calories or points, or any other fad diet. I can't stress this enough. You eat real food every single day. You know what else you're doing while losing weight with Awaken 180? Eliminating pain, fitting into clothes you haven't worn in years, sleeping through the night and waking up refreshed and energized. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180, and Hacker lost more than 110. You can lose whatever you want. It doesn't matter what your goal weight is. Awaken 180 weight loss will get you there quickly and safely by eating real food every single day. Awaken 180 weight loss is the clear path to success without disappointment. Give them a call, 844-346-1800, or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Zero Res. They want to help you clean your home or business. Big summer savings with 3 rooms clean starting at $129 and 20% off your air duct cleaning. Call them 904-287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Send your favorite person a sweet summer surprise today from Kuhn Flowers, creating memories for over 70 years. This is Max, and it's just so easy. Order online at kuhnflowers.com. Jacksonville and Ponte Vedra.
The first half champion Jumbo Shrimp are home this weekend at VyStar Ballpark. Don't miss the biggest fireworks show of the season on this Friday, July 4th, presented by Ascension St. Vincent's. Saturday, the first 2,000 fans through the main gate on Georgia Street get a Nolan Ryan Jacksonville Suns bobblehead, courtesy of Miller Electric and Arlington Toyota. Sunday is a Forever Vets Dog Day on Baptist Health Sunday Family Fun Day.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
We lost Big Ralphs of Martha Hoople and Bad Company, an original. I believe this song was actually written by David Bowie. All the right dudes. I think so. I'll look it up. But I believe I am correct. It's on your Walkman, right, Dylan?
Oh, yeah.
Some would consider this a one-hit wonder, Martha Hoople. I disagree. Yeah, some pretty good tunes. They just weren't around long enough.
Yeah, I've never heard of them.
Or the major acts, or part of it, the original Martha Hoople. But yeah, another one who left us at the age of 81. That was last week. He was also part of the founding fathers of Bad Company. So, Bad Company finally going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Another member who won't be there for it. Kind of like Dave Parker, who will not be there for it next month in Cooperstown. You ever been to Cooperstown, New York, the site of the Baseball Hall of Fame?
No, my 2 brothers and dad went. My brother played on a Cooperstown team. There's a baseball team on the west side, Marietta. They send their 12-year-old all-star team up there to Cooperstown every year, and he went. This was it was like 2017, 2018, and they went to Canton, got to tour that, and then they went to Cooperstown as well, where they played baseball. And yeah, I mean, they were so little, they don't even care about it. They just run through the museum, and they're 10, 11, 12 years old. I was jealous. I was back here working, but it is on my bucket list to do the next 2 years to go up there and visit and see all the memorabilia and things of that nature. Because my dad was like, "You got to go."
Yeah, and it's a weekend trip. I remember my dad, my younger brother. I went the year, I believe it was that when Jim Palmer and the late Joe Morgan were enshrined, and it's really the only Hall of Fame I've ever been to. I don't know what it is. I was so disgusted by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Even a few years ago when Baselli went in, our hotel room was like right next door to the Football Hall of Fame. We had free tickets, and I was just like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, I don't need to go. And, where I grew up, I'd say Springfield, Massachusetts. It's Boston, it's Worcester, it's probably Lowell. And then Springfield's probably the fourth biggest city in Massachusetts. And they had the Hall of Fame there, and I just was never interested in it. I don't know why. And I think it's because, to me, the Hall of Fame should be about the elite. And it's become too watered down. And when I walked into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and I saw, like, things of, like, Gwen Stefani and Taylor Swift, and I was just like, I mean.
She went in recently?
No, they were like billboards out front where they're selling all that stuff. It's like my image of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame would be like the acid-laced do-rag of Jimi Hendrix, right? That's what I want to see.
Right.
I don't want to see Taylor Swift pumping a new album or something like that. So I did. I mean, I just became so incredibly disgusted by it that I really don't care about attending any Hall of Fames.
Yeah, I just know with the NFL Hall of Fame, it's, you make tough decisions to where when you allow one person that's on the borderline, it feels like you have to allow everyone else. And the NFL Hall of Fame is different among the baseball and the basketball Hall of Fame because it felt like for a long time, like the NFL Hall of Fame was the elite of the elite. And, it carried a lot of water. The basketball field has the persona that everybody gets in. Baseball, it's somewhere in the middle. But football, it felt like for a long time that you were like, it was truly elite.
I don't know. I can't remember the example. I'm going to say this. I don't know if it's right or not, but I remember like Billy White Shoes Johnson took back like a kick 100 yards. Okay. It may have been more than 100 yards. He may have been a couple of yards in the end zone. And it was like a record, and it was like a big deal. So it's like they put his shoes in the Football Hall of Fame. And my point is that when I'm making my way through the Football Hall of Fame, I don't want to see shoes of a guy who returned a kick 102 yards. I want to see stuff from real, legitimate, absolute stars who played in the game.
And the Super Bowls and the like the Tom Brady, Peyton Manning AFC Championship games.
I don't want to see, and they've done way too much of that. Anyway, it's just a personal preference. If that's part of your vacation, if you're going to visit any one of these Hall of Fames and you want to do it, and you want to take the kids, all the power to you. I'm just telling you that it's changed for me. And out of them all, it was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that just completely disgusted me. What a complete waste of time that is. I mean, they've become so ridiculously diverse. And again, is Led Zeppelin in the freaking country Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Are the Rolling Stones in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame? Why does the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame have to get away with what made rock and roll great by allowing, big bands in, jazz in, folk in, every phase of music is in. And it's wrong. It's supposed to be rock and roll. So change it. Change it to the Music Hall of Fame. Here's a good one. 9404 Blue, you're going to watch the Black Sabbath Shindig on Saturday. What a card that is. There's like 6 or 7 phenomenal bands. I think it costs like $30. And this is it for Ozzy, who's been ill. But I may pay attention to that. Yeah, I may get into it. Thank you for reminding me. That's from the 9404. Some really solid acts. 52.90. I bet all our dads are like that. But that went baseball any more than I was. Yeah, I mean, listen, when we grew up, people my age, baseball was the great American pastime. What was it? Baseball, Chevrolet, apple pie. I mean, it's no longer. Baseball bores people. Football is the great American pastime now. Football is so far dominant over baseball. You can't even put them on the same platform. Football dominates. Absolutely dominates. Still love the game of baseball. 0976 Bruce Dickinson did a great cover of All the Young Dudes, one of his solo albums in the late 80s, early 90s. Really? Okay. I'll give that a listen. Carly Rae Jepsen is another one-hit wonder. Where did that come from? We talking about one-hit wonders here tonight? Oh, yeah, I said Moot the Hopper. That's my fault. Okay, thank you. 2835. I said that they weren't, though. Probably got to go deep cut a little bit with them. 0981 Blue, the Florida Panthers just locked basically everyone in. Wow. It's pretty incredible. I don't know really how that salary cap works in either the NBA or the NHL. Feels like you can really cook books, but we'll see. I mean, getting Marchand at $32 million over the next 6. Boston let him go because they were fighting over like $700,000 a year. And I think those who really follow the sport knew that Florida had a really good chance to get him. Boston had a really good chance to get him back. And then Toronto was kind of the wild card. As a matter of fact, I ran into a guy in a bar over the weekend who was telling me that he thought Marchand was going to sign with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto hasn't won a Stanley Cup since 1967. So, we'll see about that. But obviously he did re-up today with the Florida Panthers. That's scary, what they've been able to do right now. 4601 Blue. Trevor Lawrence's freshman legacy is built on an era. The 2019 Fiesta Bowl between Clemson and Ohio State was marked by controversy due to 2 key officiating calls that favored Clemson, a targeting ejection of Ohio State's Shaun Wade, and a reverse fumble call. These calls shifted momentum and ultimately contributed to Clemson's 29-23 victory.
That was a sophomore year. I forget who they played in the semifinal his freshman year, but they blew him out. And then they blew out Alabama, which, I mean, that was like the first time that Nick Saban had suffered a loss like that in his tenure at Alabama. He had been there for 10 years at that point.
Here's what I got for Ohio State. You won a national title against Miami when that ref threw the flag 90 seconds after the play. And number 2, you had a chance to knock off Florida, but your entire team jumped on the ankle of Ted Ginn. So these things tend to even out in the long run. So look at some of these odds. Maybe I'll get to it on the other side here. Some of these odds for the college football playoff this year, it's really bizarre. If you get through like the first 4 or 5 teams, I mean, this thing is wide open to become a playoff at-large team. And, I just hope, and who knows in this sport, exactly what is going to take place when it's all said and done. But I really do hope we get to, what is it, the 4-4-2-2-1-3 system. I believe that is what it is. Let me see if I can find it here one more time. I believe that's what it is. Yeah, 4 would be 8. That'd be 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, that'd be too many. It's the 4-4-2-2-1-3 model. Right? 4 from the SEC, 4 from the Big Ten, 2 from the ACC, 2 from the Big 12, 1 small conference team, 3 at large. I look at that and I understand why the Big Ten and the SEC would want it, but I also look at that 5 and 11, and to me, I think that would end up being more attractive. Now, that is not going to go into play, as we know, until next year, but the 5 and 11, only 5 guaranteed spots with clinching a conference title, and then 11 at-larges. I think that's what we want. But we'll see. Maybe we'll see if I can dig that up again on the other side of this break. We'll take a couple more from you, 641-1010 on the text line. But I think you'd be a little bit interested in the odds overall of teams with the ability to make it into this year's college football playoff. It just feels like as we're about, 6 weeks out from the start of the year. Actually, yeah, I guess a little bit more than that. We have July and August in college football. So we're 2 months out. But, in order to make it and get into the field, it looks like it's really wide open this year.
Each one of us remembers when we felt it the first time, when you looked up and down those bleachers and saw 90,000 saluting alongside you, when you first saw a Gator.
1010XL.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to ITPPartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights. It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop, 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court: the Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. Or MattDadJacksonville.com.
Give us your hot take.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
On the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm awake and I speak English, so yeah, I do know what you're saying.
Be part of the conversation. 641-1010.
Hi, I'm Karen, owner of Clay Solar Installation Partners, your local woman-owned solar company. At Clay Solar, we're more than just panels and power. We're about people. We make the switch to clean energy simple, stress-free, and built to last. If you've had a bad experience with solar in the past, we can help. We specialize in dependable solutions and top-notch customer service, so you can finally enjoy the savings and sustainability you deserve. Schedule your free consultation at claysolar.com.
Hello, all you Jacksonville sports fans. Don here from Taco Lou. If you're in the mood for some great tacos, cold Dos Equis, and maybe even a sip of some fine tequila, then the Lou is calling your name. Come out to Jack's Beach and experience what many have dubbed the #1 taco in the 904. There are plenty of great taco joints in town, and we're proud to have been around for this long, and we have only you, the fine people of Jacksonville, to thank for helping us grow and become who we are today. Cheers to you, Jacksonville, and thank you from the Lou crew. Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece. Premium flooring. Take our advice. Home business, affordable price. Driveways, pool decks, garage doors, beautiful patios, and more to explore. Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
ET here, and if you've ever been injured in an accident, visit my buddy Dr. McGowan at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. You have 14 days to see a doctor and protect your insurance benefits, even if you're at fault. And no matter what you hear, you have the right to choose your own doctor. So I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Their auto experts will guide you in every step of the way to ensure the care that you need. Your recovery starts with McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation.
How wide is home plate in baseball?
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The home plate in baseball is a generous 17 inches wide, although most major league pitchers would think otherwise.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, two big moves today in the state of Florida, both down south. Number one, Jalen Ramsey out of Miami. He has moved to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mika Fitzpatrick makes his way back to the Dolphins. Some draft picks involved. Ramsey will get $1.5 million raise, so he'll get paid $26.6 million this year by the Pittsburgh Steelers. All of a sudden, they have a real solid secondary with Darius Slay and Joey Porter Jr. Will Jalen line up? You know, is he going to be the main shutdown cover corner? Is he going to move around? There's some talk that maybe he could go to safety. We will see. Brad Marchand does re-up as well for the Florida Panthers. 6 years, $32 million. They're keeping all of their players. Aaron Ekblad as well signed an 8-year contract a little bit earlier today. So the Panthers trying to win a third consecutive Stanley Cup final. Good news for hockey is they take like 2 weeks off and they're back at it. So before you know it, the National Hockey League will get underway. And again, they reached a 4-year collective bargaining agreement Friday. It was really part of a news dump. If you didn't hear it, came in at like Friday at 5 o'clock. And they're talking about in the 26-27 season going from 82 to 84 games and limiting some preseason work. So that is the very latest there. Real quick for you. We'll get into this when we have more time, but looking at college football playoff qualifier odds. And Ohio State's number one. It's 76.4%. That's it. We don't have one team here in the 90s or the 80s. I mean, 76.4 is the highest playoff percentage right now that you can bet on. $3.25 to the dollar. You'd have to lay down $325 to win 100. And then it's Texas, Oregon, Georgia, and Penn State. Those are the only 5 schools with a percentage of 70% or better. 75 for Texas, 72.2 for Oregon. Georgia, 71.4. And then Penn State, 70.5. I mean, respectively. You think Texas makes the playoffs, minus 300, you win 100. You think Oregon makes the playoffs, minus 260, you win 100. Georgia, minus 250 to win 100. Penn State, minus 240 to win 100. And then look at these odds. Only 60% for Bama and Notre Dame. Only 56.5% for Clemson. who I saw the mock draft that's already out for 2026. Cade Klubnik, Mel Kiper says, number 1 pick. I'm going to the Cleveland Browns, which is hilarious considering Cleveland has 5 quarterbacks right now in camp. LSU, 41.6. Mississippi, 41.6. Then you go all the way down from 41 to 33% to Boise, 33% for Miami, 31% for Michigan, 30% for Tennessee. So all of a sudden, we're getting into a category where you look at risk reward. You have an opportunity to make some pretty good cash here if you think Mississippi is going to make a college football playoff, 12 teams, Miami or Michigan or Tennessee. Florida's plus 400. We know how brutal the Gator schedule is, plus 400. You lay down $100 in Florida. I mean, what does Florida have to do to make the playoffs? 10-2?
9-3 with the right team, with the right losses. Still, lost to Texas, Georgia, and probably Miami.
Plus 400. You lay $100 down, you get back 400. Texas A&M every year. Texas A&M every year they need to win, plus 240. Tennessee, plus 225. Of course, the quarterback situation at Tennessee. I think I've told you this, but my sister's kids, one is a graduate of Miami, the other's getting ready for a senior year at Tennessee. I saw them, a week and a half ago when we said goodbye to my father back in Boston, but obviously with those two talking a lot of college football about both of their teams. Very winnable. Plus 200, double your money there for the U, and plus 225 for Tennessee. It all comes down to finding a team. Can Oklahoma rebound? Plus 525 for Oklahoma. How about USC? Now in the Big Ten, plus 550. Now that's big money. Florida State, plus 1,200. Holy smokes. Plus 12. You put $100 down. Florida State, we gave you 1,200. North Carolina with Belichick, plus 1,400. There's going to be a team that really does surprise. It happens every year in college football. Wisconsin is all the way down to 2,800. That is absolutely crazy to me. West Virginia, 3,300. Wow. Some teams that you would think would be getting a little bit more love.
What about Michigan?
Yeah, I said Michigan earlier. Let's see. I think Michigan's like the 12th, 15th team.
Okay.
Something like that. Michigan is plus 220. 31.2% of making a college football playoff. Let's look at the Big Ten. Ohio State's 1. Oregon is 3. Penn State is 5. So Michigan is the 4th highest ranked team right now in the Big Ten. Florida, this is murderer's row. Texas is at 2. Georgia is at 4. Bama is at 6. LSU is 9. Mississippi is 10. Tennessee is around 13 or 14. Texas A&M right after them. Auburn is probably 18 or 19. So Florida comes in as the 9th highest ranked team in the SEC. I don't see that. 4-1. Just giving it the naked eye look, to me, Florida is better than Auburn or can beat Auburn. Better than Tennessee. Better than Mississippi. We know what happened a year ago. Better than Texas A&M. LSU. Wide open. So the only reason why I brought this up, it's crystal clear that by looking at this, it almost has an NFL feel to it, where there's just not a can't-miss dominant team this year in college football, that you can lose a game, 2 games, maybe even 3 games, and get hot during the playoffs and go on a run. This is not a typical year where you look at this and say a returning starting quarterback. It's not. Different quarterback at Ohio State? It's not. At Texas, Arch Manning didn't start a year ago. Those are the two top-ranked teams. It's bizarre because it just feels like this year is absolutely going to be wide open in college football.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
You know, Hacker, the one thing I've always looked at when it comes to trying to guess who's going to win a national title is a team who returns a starting quarterback.
Yeah.
This year in college football, all over the map.
All over the map. And I'll tell you, I've had a lot of college football guys on. I know you've talked to a lot of people from around the country as well. A team that people love are the Clemson Tigers. After a couple of years, maybe down and out for their standards, people may be giving up on Dabo a little bit. I don't know if they're going to live up to the hype, but between Klubnik, I saw an ESPN mock draft for 2026. I think there were 4 Clemson Tigers taken in the top 14. I mean, you're an ACC guy. Do you buy the Clemson hype?
Yeah, I think they're by far the best team right now in the Atlantic Coast.
I haven't talked to anybody that doesn't have Clemson not only winning the ACC, but being in the Final Four of the college football playoff.
And last year, I mean, look at SMU came out of nowhere. You're always going to have those schools who come out of nowhere. But, you know, I want to believe Carson Beck in Miami. They've got some high-ranked kids as well. Florida State, who knows what's actually going to happen there. Then there's a lot of schools like Louisville that can win a big game and also, you know, just lay down a week later. So it's not going to be a great year in the ACC. Right now, I would think all the money's going on Clemson.
Yeah, a lot of money's going on Clemson. And people are talking so much about, you know, Ohio State, Texas. Here locally, we're talking about Florida State, Alabama. We're talking about Notre Dame, Miami, that opening college football weekend. That LSU-Clemson game, Saturday night, 2 months from right now on August 30th in Death Valley, the Clemson portion of Death Valley. How much fun will that be between LSU and Clemson?
Oh, it's going to be great. There's some unbelievable opening weekend games this year.
Long Island, Florida is probably the headliner of that list.
Well, Long Island, Florida, and what? You got Bama visiting Florida State. Is it Texas?
Ohio State. Woo. You got Notre Dame, Miami. You got LSU, Clemson, and that's just tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, man. What's going on tonight? What you got?
We'll talk some Florida Gator football tonight. Zach Goodall, 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247. Stops by Vinny Iyer of the Sporting News. Stops by as well to talk a little Jags and NFL. And we'll do the NFC South this week. We'll make stops in New Orleans, Carolina, and Atlanta. But tonight we will begin in Tampa Bay to review the Tampa Bay Buccaneer offseason.
All right. Have a lot of fun.
Thanks, Rick.
That's coming up right now. That's Hacker Nation. That's going to do it for us on this Monday. I tried to get to as many of you as I could on the text line tonight, but there were really a ton of them. So it's always appreciated. And I am very thankful, but just unable to respond to all of you. Thank you to Brian Baldinger. Really enjoyed that conversation. I hope you did as well. Dylan Denmark produced the program. My name is Rick Ballou. I'll talk with you tomorrow night, Tuesday, from 6 to 8, right here on your home of the Jags.